Elon Musk has just lost his place as the world's richest man. Most of his assets were tied to his electric car company, Tesla. This is unfortunate because Tesla stock took a tumble this year after Elon bought Twitter. Tesla stock dropped when Elon announced his intention to buy Twitter. Everyone expected Elon to sell some of his Tesla stock to buy Twitter, and he did. No Tesla investor liked the fact that Elon was dividing his attention among Tesla and Twitter, so many left the stock in droves. After the Twitter buyout, Tesla's stock price lost $700 billion from its market cap. A lot of people just wished he had just stuck to shitposting on Twitter instead of trying to fix it and failing. His mishandling of Twitter's business turned him from admired visionary to public enemy number one after he officially took over. Elon's own net worth, which was worth over $340 billion at its peak, has dwindled to around $160 billion according to Bloomberg. That's less than $10 billion below Bernard Arnault's net worth of $172 billion, catapulting Bernard from second place to the richest man in the world. This isn't the first time Bernard became the richest man in the world. In 2019, he briefly surpassed Jeff Bezos to become the richest man in the world, but this wouldn't last as Bernard fell back to second place very quickly. He regained his number one spot for a short time in 2020, lost it, and then regained it back in the later half of 2021 before Elon Musk surpassed him. Right now, with Elon's massive wealth drop, Bernard has become the richest man in the world. So who is this man? How did he make his money? $172 billion seems like an ungodly amount of money. Turns out, Bernard Arnault is actually the owner of Louis Vuitton's parent company, LMVH. LMVH is one of the largest luxury goods companies in the world. The name of the company is a mouthful, Moet Hennessy Louis Vuitton, which is why they shortened the company's name to its initials, LMVH. You may have heard of the luxury brands they own, which include Christian Dior, Louis Vuitton, and obviously Dom Perignon, Sephora, Moet at Chandon, and Hennessy. So now you know Bernard Arnault is rich. How did he actually make his money? Well, the French tycoon started his journey as a chief construction officer right out of school in his father's civil engineering company, so you could say he was a trust fund kid, but he had ambitions to become something greater. He did pretty well for the company, so his father made him the CEO in a few years. Bernard's lucky break came with the bankruptcy of a certain company. There was a giant French company called Bozak, which had a famous retail and textile empire at the time, which included brands like Dior. The problem was Bozak was going bankrupt. The French government was looking for buyers for Bozak because they couldn't allow the company to go under. It would have meant thousands of people would lose their jobs. Bernard had always wanted to own the house of Dior. His own mother had an avid fascination for the luxury brand, and this obsession passed on to her son Bernard. So when Bernard jumped at the chance to buy Bozak, it was because he wanted to get his hands on the house of Dior. He won the bidding war for the bankrupt company and bought it for one ceremonial franc, while promising to keep thousands of Bozak's French workers employed. Once he got his hands on Bozak though, Bernard did the opposite. He only wanted the house of Dior, the Dior brand, so he sold off other parts of the company. The diaper division, goodbye. The assets Bernard promised not to sell, gone. Bozak's textile business, you can have it for $500 million. Bernard laid off 9,000 workers, earning him the nickname the Terminator from the French populace. His tactics were ruthless, and it worked. By 1987, the company made $112 million with a revenue of $1.9 billion. Everyone in France called him the Wolf of Cashmere after his cutthroat business practices. Once he had the money and reputation, Bernard founded a company made from a group of luxury brands. He helped merge Louis Vuitton and Moet Hennessy to form the LMVH company. When he didn't like the CEOs, which helped him form the company, like Louis Vuitton's president, Henry Ricamer, Bernard bought enough shares to kick Henry out from the company and consolidate power. As the chairman of LMVH's board of directors, Bernard went on a buying spree, buying up massive luxury companies. He bought Berluti, Kenzo, Guerlain's perfume and cosmetics brand, Celine's ready-to-wear goods, Louis, Marc Jacobs, Sephora, Thomas Pink, and Tag Heuer. Recently, in 2022, he even managed to acquire Tiffany & Co.'s jewelry business. Bernard built up a reputation of being a ruthless dealmaker who went after leading luxury brand companies. Till this day, Bernard has never stopped buying companies. In 2021 alone, he tried to buy or at least express intentions to buy 3 luxury companies. Bernard Arnault became the richest man in the world with his ruthless acquisition strategy. He keeps buying up luxury brand companies that will do well far off in the future. Luxury brand companies tend to withstand the test of time because they are able to raise prices far above what they paid to make those products. People's demands for luxury goods rises when their income rises. There will always be buyers who pay more for something they perceive to be better. You don't need luxury goods to survive, but as long as there are people who enjoy showing off or want something physical to show they live better lives, luxury goods will always be popular. Any inflation in the economy is just an excuse for luxury brands to raise prices. Bernard Arnault is able to get away with this because his company LMVH, which he owns 41% of, houses 70 of the world's most popular brands right now. This is why Bernard Arnault is worth over $165 billion. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.